Welcome to the place where we learn about and learn from the leaders in our field who are powering creativity. I'm Aaron Dworkin, and this is Arts Engines. Thanks again for joining me here on Arts Engines. Today's guest is Brent Ott, who serves as the Chief Operating Officer of the Henry Ford. Brent, welcome to the show.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for hosting, Aaron, and thanks for everything you do for the arts community. It's wonderful.
Well, absolutely. And of course, I'm so lucky to be able to be in Southeast Michigan and frequently be able to actually experience the impact of the Henry Ford, in person. And of course, one of our wonderful creative partners here for the show. So I thought it would be great just for our audience first. Could you kind of give just like an overview? The Henry Ford is such a unique place. Could you kind of just share, kind of what that 30,000 foot view is?
Yes, it is unique. It is unique. So we're located in Dearborn, Michigan, with 250-acre campus. We see about 1.6 million people across all of our venues that we host. It's a nonprofit organization. We have the Henry Ford Museum of American Innovation. We have Greenfield Village, our outdoor venue. We have the Forders Factory Tour that we do in partnership with Ford Motor Company. We have a giant screen theater, a research center. We also have a high school on grounds, about 500 students, the Henry Ford Academy. And we also have some national programs. We have an invention convention, about 300,000 students across the nation. And we also are having Farm to School Lunch Across America program of a lunch movement. So yes, we're located in Dearborn, but our impact goes across the United States.
It is. It's truly impactful. And for me, I feel like one of the unique parts is Greenfield Village, where you literally feel like you can kind of go into a different place. Could you kind of just describe that just a little more? Because so many people in our audience may not realize what that is like, and they need to come and experience it.
They do need to come. So Greenfield Village, we were founded in 1929 by Henry Ford. He wanted to preserve stories of Americana of the past, focus on innovation, ingenuity, and resourcefulness. So Greenfield Village has 83 historic structures. Like the Henry Ford's birth home, the Wright brothers' home and cycle shop, Menlo Park, where Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, Noah Webster's house, where he wrote the dictionary. All these great stories of American innovators of the past, we've preserved and we interpret that for guests every day. We also have Model Ts that run. You can get it on a Model T. We restore steam locomotives and operate that every day, horse-drawn carriages. So we have a full immersive experience. That's a great platform for learning and also for some tremendous events that we do all throughout the year. It's pretty fantastic.
It really is. And anyone in our audience, if you have not experienced it and rolling through Greenfield Village in a Model T, it is definitely very, very unique. And so what's of course amazing and wonderful is all of this is capturing this extraordinary history and innovation. And here we are at America's 250th.
That's correct.
And so I can only imagine, obviously, the Henry Ford has been thinking about that for a while and how to kind of capture that. And so wondering if you could share with us kind of what are some of those key aspects that the Henry Ford is doing to recognize and to celebrate this unique moment in our history.
Yes, we have a lot going on this year, so I'll go quickly here. But we feel we're uniquely positioned to help the nation celebrate and reflect and reckon on its historic birthday in a way that no other institution can. This year, we will be welcoming something truly rare. For the first time ever, 9 founding era documents will travel together as part of the Freedom Plane National Tour. They're the documents that forged the nation. We'll be hosting that July 9th to the 26th. This is a traveling exhibition from the National Archives and Records Administration. And so the Henry Ford is only one of 8 institutions nationwide offering this experience. And it will allow visitors to stand inches away from documents, such as an original engraving of the Declaration of Independence, the signed Articles of Association, to the signed Treaty of Paris and the tally votes approving the Constitution. It's pretty remarkable, and we're fortunate to host it here. But then we're also hosting two exhibitions of our own in Henry Ford Museum of American Innovation. So right now we have Handmade exhibition, The Crafting of America, which draws on more than 100 artifacts, all from our collection, many never before seen. This exhibition represents how Americans really turned necessity into ingenuity and ideas into opportunity from what they created. And then this summer, June 7th, we'll open Fabric of America, our fashions, textiles, and technologies. This exhibition features more than 500 artifacts, all from our collection, representing how fabric has shaped the American identity. And so these exhibitions are really layered on top of all of our favorite programs, such as Motor Muster, Salute to America with the Detroit Symphony Orchestra, which is a fantastic event, and our historic baseball all summer long.
It's just going to be incredible, and I'm so looking forward to being able to capture so much of that. As you think about this, and especially this unique time in our history, it was kind of curious, and especially in your leadership role, from the strategic standpoint, when you do something, when you're capturing, these founding documents and enabling people to see, or just the regular experience of Greenfield Village, et cetera, is there kind of a strategic vision or purpose ultimately? In other words, when someone leaves the Henry Ford, is there a goal? If they feel this way, if they've learned this, then we've been successful? Is there kind of some driving tenets that you have that kind of cover all of these extraordinary programs and exhibitions?
Yes, I mean, as a nonprofit organization, our North Star is always our mission and our vision. That is everything that we are grounded in. That is where we drive towards. And so our mission really is to inspire people through the important lessons of history. So that's our grounding here. But the grounding is to create a better future. Our idea is to inspire people. We believe that every individual has a potential to change the world. And while we're a history museum, we're an institution that actively collects stories and innovators of the past and present. We're very much focused on the future. We are truly inspiring the next generation. We want the next Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, Rosa Parks. We want to spark that inspiration from their stories to find inspiration for the future and where we're headed as a society.
That's absolutely just beautiful and amazing. And so one of the key things that we love to do on the show is, right, to kind of pull back the wool of arts leaders, right? And kind of people are like, oh, this person's in this leadership role. Okay. But what is that like? Like, right? What's that day to day? And so kind of curious as we think about, right, being in this role of the chief operating officer, could you give us a glimpse, right? Obviously the exhibitions are amazing. And obviously this particular year, even more unique than ever. And just kind of in a snapshot of a day for a chief operating officer of a major cultural institution like this, what does that look like? What does that feel like?
Yeah, each day is different for sure. But in my role as Chief Operating Officer for the Henry Ford, I oversee the institution's day-to-day operations and logistics, and our teams work together to execute our business strategies across our various lines of business and the programs that we serve. So my area of responsibility includes oversight of experience design, strategy, guest services, facilities, security, food service, and catering operations. So we've got a great team all across the organization. And I work closely with our president and CEO, Patricia Moradian, and our leadership team really to implement the vision of the Henry Ford from an operations standpoint. I'm very privileged to have the role that I have. It's a great team to work with. It's a great mission, and we just have fun every day. We try to have fun every day with the work that we get to do.
And I'm going to come right back to that little part that you just said in just a second too. But it seems like in 1 minute you could be in the depths of how do we design this experience to achieve that mission you shared and inspiring those who will be the next Edison, et cetera. And then, in the next hour, you might be looking at how are we going to function our security for, overnight or function security for these incredible founding documents that we're going to have.
That's correct.
Kind of thing. So it's amazing that kind of breadth and obviously so exciting. The excitement I can totally see from everything that you're sharing. But there's got to be some days where everything doesn't go according to plan or where there are
Yes.
challenges. And so, just wondering, I always like to ask this of all my guests,
Mm.
is there any mechanism that you have as an administrative leader that helps you get through those toughest of times or biggest challenges?
Yeah, I have to say, reflecting on, some of the tough times we've had in the past, some of the biggest takeaways for me have been, and I think we do this well, is when times are tough, we band together. We come together as a team. We make decisions with mission and people top of mind, and we try to be as transparent as possible. I think these lessons led us through well during the COVID crisis that seemed to be changing by the hour. I remember being in a conference room listening to press conferences at the local, state, federal level. But we came together to figure out what our next steps were for our programs, our operations, and communications. And you can plan for a lot of scenarios. You can do a lot of scenario planning, but it's critical to come together to deal with the specifics of the tough times you're going through in that moment. And so during COVID and others, they were extremely tough times, but I knew that we were aligned on what the institution and people needed from us. And that was a big takeaway for me of just making sure that we're aligned and we banded together to get through those times.
Brent Ott, you truly are one of the arts engines who is powering human creativity in our world. Thank you so much for everything that you do, not just for Southeast Michigan, for the Henry Ford, but literally around the nation. And thanks so much for being on the show.
Again, thanks for having me, Aaron, and thanks for all that you do. It's great to be here.